The fluorescent lights hummed overhead like mechanical prayers as Sarah Martinez clutched her pink slip, the paper trembling between her calloused fingers. 23 years of scrubbing floors, emptying trash cans, and arriving before dawn to make sure Pinnacle Industries sparkled for its executive officer, all reduced to a single sheet of corporate letterhead. Her youngest daughter's college acceptance letter sat at home on the kitchen counter, a dream now crumbling like autumn leaves. The tears she'd been holding back finally broke free, each drop carrying the weight of a mother's broken promises. "Mom, you need to clear out your locker," the security guard said, his voice softer than policy required. Even he could see this wasn't just another layoff. This was a woman whose world had just collapsed. Sarah had always been invisible in the gleaming towers of corporate America. She was the ghost who made magic happen in the shadows, of the one who restocked the executive washrooms with Egyptian cotton towels, who knew exactly how Mr. Davidson liked his conference room arranged, and who had quietly celebrated 23 Christmases by leaving small candy canes on every desk. She never expected recognition, never asked for raises, never complained when she had to work double shifts to cover for absent colleagues. Her philosophy was simple: do good work, keep your head down, and somehow the universe would balance the scales. But today, the universe felt rigged. As Sarah walked through the marble lobby one last time, her worn sneakers squeaking against the polished floor, she noticed something that made her stop. Mr. Thompson, the overnight security guard who'd become her only friend in this sterile world, was slumped over his desk. His usually perfect uniform was wrinkled, and his hands shook as he tried to fill out incident reports. "Tom, you okay, honey?" Sarah approached his station, forgetting for a moment that she was no longer an employee here. Thompson looked up, his weathered face etched with worry. "Sarah, what are you doing here so late? Thought your shift ended hours ago." She held up the termination letter, trying to smile through her heartbreak. "Got my walking papers today." 23 years, and it's over just like that. "Budget cuts," they said. Her voice caught. "But never mind about me, you look terrible." "What's wrong?" Thompson's composure cracked. "My grandson Danny. He's 8 years old, Sarah, has leukemia. Been fighting it for 2 years now." He pulled out his phone, showing her a picture of a little boy with bright eyes and a baseball cap covering his bald head. "The treatment was working, but yesterday the doctors said he needs this experimental therapy. It's not covered by insurance. Costs $50,000. Sarah felt her heart break all over again, but this time for someone else. "Oh, Tom, I'm so sorry. I've been working 3 jobs, trying to save up. My daughter, she's a single mom, works at a diner. We've sold everything we can sell, borrowed against everything we own." His voice became a whisper. "The doctors say if we don't start the treatment within 2 weeks, Danny might not." He couldn't finish the sentence. Sarah looked at this man who'd shared his coffee with her on countless midnight shifts, who'd shown her pictures of Danny hitting his first baseball, taking his first steps, starting kindergarten with that infectious grin. Thompson had been the only person in this building who'd ever asked about her daughter's grades, who'd remembered her birthday, who'd made her feel human in a place that treated people like furniture. Without hesitation, Sarah reached into her purse and pulled out an envelope. Inside was her entire severance package, $18,000 that was supposed to carry her family through until she found new work, money earmarked for her daughter's college expenses. "Tom, take this," she said, pressing the envelope into his shaking hands. "Sarah, number. I can't. You just lost your job. You have your own family." "It's okay," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "I'll go. I'll figure something out." "But Danny. He's 8 years old. He needs this more than I need security. I've lived my life. He deserves his chance." Thompson stared at the money, then at Sarah, understanding the magnitude of her sacrifice. "This is everything you have, isn't it?" She nodded, unable to speak, and turned to walk away. "Wait." A deep voice echoed through the lobby. Both Sarah and Thompson turned to see CEO Marcus Rivera emerging from the elevator, his expensive suit perfectly pressed despite the late hour. He'd been working on quarterly reports when he'd happened to glance at the security monitors, a habit he'd developed to stay connected with all levels of his company. What he'd witnessed on that grainy black and white screen had stopped him cold. "Miss Martinez," Rivera said, his voice carrying an authority that could silence boardrooms, "did I just see you give away your severance package?" Sarah's face flushed with embarrassment. She'd been caught in an act of kindness by the very man whose cost-cutting measures had destroyed her livelihood. "Mr. Rivera, Yes, sir. Tom's grandson is sick, and No," Rivera interrupted, his voice firm. "It's not okay." Sarah's heart sank. Was he going to humiliate her further? Report her for some policy violation? Rivera stepped closer, his expression intense. "What's not okay is that I have been so disconnected from the people who make this company run that I didn't know about Danny's situation. What's not okay is that we're eliminating positions of people like you while I just approved a 7-figure bonus for executives who've never mopped a floor or stayed late to make sure someone else's workspace was perfect." He turned to Thompson. "How much does your grandson need for his treatment?" "50,000, sir." "But Sarah already. Sarah gave you her heart. Now let me give you the money." Rivera pulled out his phone and made a call. "Janet, it's Marcus. I need you to prepare a company check for $50,000. Medical emergency. And Janet, I want you to reverse the termination paperwork for Sarah Martinez. She's not going anywhere." Sarah's legs nearly give out. "Sir, I don't understand." Rivera's corporate mask slipped away, revealing the man underneath as someone who'd forgotten what really mattered while chasing profit margins and shareholder returns. 23 years ago, when I was just starting here as a junior executive, there was a cleaning lady who used to leave motivational quotes on my desk. Little handwritten notes that got me through the worst days of my career. "Was that you?" Sarah's eyes widened. "You were the young man in accounting who always said thank you, who asked about my daughter when she had pneumonia." You remembered? "I remembered someone who showed me that success means nothing if you've lost your humanity. Somewhere along the way, I forgot that lesson. But watching you give away everything to save a child you barely know." Rivera paused, his voice thick with emotion. "That reminded me who I want to be, who this company should be." 3 months later, Sarah was still mopping floors at Pinnacle Industries, but now she was also the company's first director of employee welfare, a position Rivera created specifically for her. Danny was responding beautifully to his treatment, sending hand-drawn thank you cards to the entire executive team. And Sarah's daughter had started her freshman year at college, her tuition covered by a new scholarship fund that Rivera had established in honor of everyday heroes. The pink slip that had once symbolized Sarah's greatest fear now hung framed in Rivera's office, a reminder that sometimes the most powerful business decisions aren't made in boardrooms, but in moments when one human being chooses to believe in another. Sarah had whispered that she would go, that it would be okay. The CEO had replied that it wasn't okay, and in that refusal to accept a world where good people suffer alone, he'd rediscovered the soul of his company and himself. In a world that often rewards selfishness, Sarah Martinez had proven that the greatest return on investment isn't measured in dollars, but in the lives we choose to touch, the hope we decide to share, and the courage to give everything when love demands it. Her act of kindness had rippled outward, transforming not just one sick child's future, but an entire company's understanding of what truly matters. Sometimes the most profound changes begin with a whisper, "It's okay." I'll go. And sometimes, the most important word a leader can say is simply, number.